Right, it's the 14th of May 2024, and these are the threats last night. HIV Justin having a break-in, banged. Justin break-in, paedophile, you are banged. HIV raped, Sadie, banged. Shoot dead, Savenge just banged. Break-in his flat, landed Matt in prison, said. I don't know if that's true, but that's what was said. It's not my business, and it was said in temper. Shoot you dead, just being beat up, said. Knife dead, banged. Landed Matt in prison, said. Peter bangs, in a way to say whatever. Murdered Esme, said. Life's lost with Sean, said. Stabbing him, burglary, said. Smash you him, dangerous child rapist, sick cunt, raid him, said. Being busted, fucking sicko, said. Neighbour bangs, smash you in. Break his fucking ribs, smash his fucking face apart, said. And then it's a very similar threat after that. Two separate threats, that is. Break his ribs, smash his face in, weirdo, said. Knife dead, said. Fucking smash him in, kill him. Gone, said. Bash your head in, tunes, said. Messed around, just. Bit of burning problems. Being shot down, just. In child rapist, sick cunt, robbery, just. Busting in, just. Banging, say, sick cunt, breaking in. Being murdered, robbery, said. Loud bikes, pissing. Being burgled, just. Matching key, having a break-in, Justin. Molested, Sadie, said. More loud bikes, pissing. The mentalists that are setting this fucking action up against me are fucking stepping it up fucking heavy. So firstly, it's drains hit over, black and blue cars, lash out with a knife, smash you in, fucking rip your fucking life apart, slice your wrist with a creator god, play about with you sexually as a baby when you're reborn in a new life, and burn you playing about with you as a baby in a fireplace with poker sticks when you're reborn in your next life to start with. 2 people cough and sneeze at me while I'm in the shop. Choked by catalytic converter, stench has 17 started cars occur. I don't know if that's record breaking, I'm not sure. Then we have sick white cars. 4 Indian people photographed me, and they also said everyone's got a photo of him dead meat. Somerset Waste Partnership, and initially, before I started this recording, there's about 30 cars over this bridge, and comes to a sudden calm down as soon as I started recording. When I did the recording, right, a sick cunt if you don't go with a rusty looking person has basically just been suggested. Where the government or the elite or the creator god are trying to knock me off, they needed to time an overhanging trailer trying to rip my fucking legs off from behind. It's only because I moved in to the hedge about a foot or so that it just skimmed me rather than taking my fucking legs off, and the driver didn't have no idea that he was doing it. Right, so we had a load of donut brain setups. Right, firstly we had like black, red, black and blue, sick white cars and whatever else, because that row's very heavy. But to cut long story short, say mentioning t-shirt names, fucking bands or whatever else, I'll just go straight into it. Basically there's a dumb setup to tell me that my jungle music is fucking sick. The old school jungle from 1993 and 1994 that's very deep or very dark and very underground is all sick music. Just to tell me that you're supposed to listen to Now That's What I Call Music and it's a 5-star compilation. Well, I'm not into that shit. But the people that are setting this action up, whether it's God, the government, the elite or whoever, are rubbing it in trying to tell me that the chart music or Now That's What I Call Music is the only good music that's out there. Right, so I've got an itchy bumhole and boner, so there's 2 motorbikes. Right, amongst other vehicles, BJ motorcycles van. Right, God's opening his fucking mouth with a load of bullshit saying that I molested Sadie. Right, so next fucking problem is you should have stuck with Lisa, referring to Lisa Pike, coming from bird tweets and a load of other things like you're being knifed. And it appears it suddenly stopped. Hang on, what's that? No, that's a crow. No, I didn't think that was anything suggestive. It comes to a sudden stop when I push record. It will stop when I push this. It'll start again when I push stop on there now. I've just had a phone call from 10 Downing Street, the Houses of Parliament in London, UK. So basically what I did is they've blocked me from phoning them or messaging them since just before when Matty neighbour tried to knife down the staff office door on the 2nd of May. So I haven't really messaged them in that way, but I posted a couple of sheets to them, my problems, and I included one that included my face. So they phoned up to tell me that not to include pictures of my face when I post these envelopes, and they prefer if I don't do it at all, because I can't remember what they said now, but that's basically all they phoned up to tell me, and they said that they're not happy about it and prefer it if I don't send them. However, there's nothing new, because I've always sent these sorts of things because the amount of problems I get, and when things usually escalate when at the times of when I'm told to stop doing it or whatever. But anyway, just mentioning it. It's worth mentioning, it's not a setup, but I want to mention it anyway. When the woodland gives that green effect, or it starts to look like a proper woodland, I'd say it's roughly around about the 2nd week in June. But on a cloudy day, if you've got a lot of sycamore trees and stuff like that, the woodland looks pretty much to its full potent on the 2nd week of May. I don't escape out into Castle. I did convert a hot point today on the Wards to Barrack route, but knife shaped, black, red and grey timed. Well, I've just had a plethora of fucking problems. Right, before I started eating, because I've had to get out of the area before I can fucking say what I want to say. Right, basically what's happened is two girls aged about 10 have walked past. These are blonde girls, and they basically were talking in conversation between themselves as they were passing me, saying, have you ever had sex with a man, and all the rest of it. And then they just sort of say, oh, family come first. And then they were saying that they had sex with people older than what I am. So when they were saying that, they were saying that they don't give a fuck. They said family comes first, relatives come first. And then they talk about having sex with their school friends and things like that. Straight after that, I walk into their parents, and the father gives me does a stupid fucking Savenne laugh, sorry. And then once he's done that, he basically looks at me and like a sort of looks at me as if I'm stupid, but as if I'm feeble sort of look. Looking at me is like a wet bogey, basically. Looking at me in a stupid way, but as if he's laughing at me sort of thing. So I got a bit pissed off about that. Dog's barking, fuck your, I won't say what it's saying, but it's not a very clever sound to make. And it's repeatedly. Crow says, ha ha ha, bash you in. Being shot dead, you child molester, you're a fucking liar. And the next person says, sick, fucking smash your head in, fucking knife you to the fucking floor. They're picking up the traffic again. Someone else has started an argument with me, basically saying everyone's got a photo of him dead meat, and then the other person says Savenne, it is said when that's not my name. Crow's repeating fuck, gag, freaking lorry, black, sick, white, and all of whatever's going to come up here. Well, very heavy traffic, obviously, because the government has to do this. Crow's saying, knife you dad, and dead you child molester just, and basically telling me that I've raped Sadie and Stephanie, and also saying that what is it, I can't remember, dog bark and crow and bird tweets are all telling me to fuck or shag specific names. Right, it's not record breaking. You've got another 100 in this direction before it's record breaking, but they have set up 400 plus cars in one direction, which is one of the highest it's been in every walk I've ever done down here since I first did the walk, going back roughly 6-7 weeks ago. The car up on car obviously has calmed down a little bit now for me to do recording. I did try doing some sunny recordings explaining the sun, because it's very sunny today. Well, every time I do the recording,
they're deliberately causing this sun to go in when I'm doing it on the other camera. But they're doing it in a timed way, so when I push start on the button, but what they did do is they also tied a YEP lorry, a YHP lorry, as I was doing it. But unfortunately, as the sun went in, as that lorry came past, before the sun came back out again, I turned the camera off and I didn't get the evidence of the YEP lorry. So they're disguising it big fucking time. I passed 3 farmhouses, wind direction my way, to time a catalytic converter to come out every one of those roads, farms. They're digging with this Langford business again with setups. Right, the record breaking amount of vehicles down here is roughly 50. Looks like they're coming up to that now, not quite, and they're not even halfway down the road. And I'm being choked by catalytic converter as well. I've only been down this road 2 times, but in 2 times that I've been down here, 50 is the maximum. As you can hear, it's like a constant flow. This road's not meant to be like this. It's not been ever been like this. Now, yeah, I think there we are. They're even colliding cars. Yeah, little bastards doing it on purpose and turn down and shit. They've put me to a fucking stop because I've got to let all vehicles pass. No, they've broken the record. I haven't counted the amount of cars, but I reckon the record's about 50 and we've got about 70. That's just a guess. It was just a bit under the record breaking amount when I reached the bridge and I had to stop. But at the time I was a little bit annoyed and I just was confused what I was saying and a bit pissed off because of being choked by catalyst, so I thought it was around about the amount of record breaking, but it's just a bit under at that time, but now it's gone past it. Roughly 50 cars is the record breaking amount for that road. I've been here roughly just under 10 minutes and in total you had about 150 cars. That's twice over the record breaking amount on that road. They're not all been up me because the last 50 or whatever, I've been down here, or just a bit over 50. Like I said, I've only been down here twice before, but there's a hell of a lot of vehicles that they're deliberately setting up. Like I said, this extremely busy road. Not only we've broken the record 3 times over, but still got traffic coming on top of that. Still on that actual road. 50 is supposed to be the limit. I'm running at 300 now because I've been choked by a catalyst by another fucking 80 plus cars trying to get across from the bridge on the other side because I had to keep stopping because I had to let them through, so I was sort of going nowhere, just waiting for all the cars to fucking pass, waiting for a clear shot. In actual fact, that makes it record breaking for this direction. Although it's not on this road, I usually pop down on that road which goes to Sutton Bingham's res instead of taking the first turning on the left. If you were looking at it on that principle, I've had a record breaking amount of traffic in one direction. Right, for the first stretch of the road, when I came down here earlier, it was roughly where I am now, roughly 200. So you're looking about the same in the reverse direction. We're having a game of colliding cars again. And that's a black sexual car, it's Kate Hayden. And a train. And a bike. We're going for goal. The evil little bastards who are setting this up are gone for goal. They've already broken the record coming back as well. There's been about 20 collisions of colliding me on that fucking corner, choking me with a catalytic converter, trying to hit me into the fucking side. There's nothing I can fucking do about it. Certainly not a route I'll be taking again. Could be because it's summer coming, I don't know, spring, but it's definitely heavier than it's ever been before down here. I calculated I can't remember if it's just over 1,000 or under 1,000 in total, and this was on a longer day and a longer walk for the amount of vehicles down this specific part of this road to where I went to. But today you're looking at about 1,300 cars. But pushing all the cars into me to try and collide them into me or to fucking hit me into the fucking hedge on every single fucking corner. Right, they're starting this weighing business again. So basically they're trying to rip my fucking legs off from behind, dig in with this fucking Wayne fucking Langford business. Right, clean van Downing Street. You fucking small-minded fucking pathetic prick fucking heads. Right, if I can get what I want to say, they're trying to make the suggestion of well, I don't know how to word this, because if you want to work it on the principle of shit stirring with this weighing business down in Street, when my father has a smoother, I can't fucking get what I need to say. It's very difficult. The setups are fucking about. It's just fucking banging the setups up. It has calmed down a little bit, as you can hear, but fuck's sake. Right, the government have, or God has broken the record big ever since I've gone in that direction. I've gone up as far as here, and that's it. Up until, when is it? March 2024. And then I ventured further to go to Sutton, Bingham. And the first time I ever been there, sort of thing. Well, I've been there quite a few times, I guess about 20 times on walks, especially going back to the month of April, because I was being cursed with the sun every time I was going there. But it's never been as heavy as what it is today. Out of all setups, or traffic, and trying to hit into me, trying to rip my legs off from behind with trailers. Today's is record breaking. I noticed this road's collapsing a little bit, so going back to like a normal level, but that doesn't mean to say that it will remain that way. Right, this is nothing unusual, but I thought I'd mention it. There's two boys having sex in the window aged about 9. That's a bedroom window passing someone's house. There's been about another 30 cars down there. Nothing too drastic. A steady flow, so quite moderately heavy, but then it's calming down like it is now. So at the moment, I don't know what the record breaking amount is down this road, but if I was to guess, I'd say it's about 60 cars. 4 started cars, catalytic converter ones. Right, setups are being extremely difficult at the moment. I'm out in an area where there's hardly any cars now, obviously. So we had another vehicle trying to rip my legs off from behind with a trailer. 14 cars pull into a space to remain started as I pass in a 3 to 4 minute time period, and train cars hit over. Someone on their phone photographs me, so get someone to smash him out and fucking knife him. Right, so this person who just fucking started a row with me has also caused me to almost have my knees smashed up with a van coming around the corner while trying to write down the previous problem. Now, this bastard who looks like Dan Morgan, my ex-mugger, but a lot younger age, and with glasses and the beard, same shaped face, basically photographs me saying after he photographed me, he's on the phone speaking, saying, get someone to smash him out and knife him. So I'm not very fucking happy at the moment. Right, I've been on the phone to the social worker because she phoned me up. Ever since I came off the phone, the actual sun's come out again, and the time I was on the phone to her, believe it or not, is the only half an hour cloud cover that we've had for that amount of time in the time phrase that I've been out, where it's actually been cloudy for 30 minutes. Straight after I got off the phone to her, worked the catalytic converter hot boy, that's a sick colour car timed. Yeah, past a dark haired woman. I'll go into that in a minute. I just want to get past the catalytic converter hot point because the likelihood is a step up that action. Not quite there yet. And then it's a sick car and a grey and white. And now it's reversing back at me with wind direction from the catalyst. Right, you know the sort of ladies that have that are slim, that have their hair in a ponytail, well, not a ponytail as such, but where they, you know, like how do I put it? I think it's hard to describe. You know these sort of sexual ladies with dark brown hair or black hair that have that cool look to their hair, where the wearing a Catholic hat or whatever, you know, like that certain design hat causes the back of their hair to look straight, like it's going down, but in a cool sort of pattern, and sort of have a smiley, sexy face with smooth skin or whatever. But basically, a woman has just walked past me, looked like that, and I thought, there's nothing wrong for me to look at a woman that looks like that looks like she's a bit younger than me, say about 35ish. So I thought, I looked at her, I thought, yeah, she's quite sexy, you know. Obviously the battery went flat. So yeah, I was saying, I looked in a polite way to this lady, because she had sort of smooth skin. I thought she'd be about 35. I mean, she could even be my age, up to my age, I don't know. But at the time I didn't know. But when I passed her, she said, you're fucking looking at me, you're fucking sick, aren't you? You're fucking sick. And then she said, no, I'm fucking 32, you fucking... And started a row like that, so I had to leave it and walk on. And I thought, I don't usually get that accent from the sort of... You know, she didn't have the sort of face where she'd kick off and say that to me. But she did. So, you know, it's not very often you see that sort of type of person either, because most people would say have that sort of social, dry and sarcastic look in their face, even that type. She sort of looked like she was sort of, you know, a nice, friendly sort of type, but obviously not. But yeah, so just because I looked at her, but you know, I've got to look, haven't I? You know, if I haven't had no sex in my whole life or no partner, you're bound to sort of look, just, you know, be polite or whatever. I mean, in general, if you're not looking for a partner, but you know, she didn't take it very nicely, so I'm just letting you know. Right, so it's been right, if I can record without fucking trouble on my other camera, which would be in a video format. I've just had 4 loud bikes tied to an erection, and I'm being choked by a catalytic converter, and the setup on the road seems to basically tell me that I'm sick, right, sick. That grey, white, black, sick, hit out, fucking black and blue, knife point. So the government are going fucking possessed. The intelligence has dropped, I tell you that, when setups occur. Before the lockdown, the people that were controlling these setups were spiteful, nasty, obviously, but there was an intellect to the setups. Nowadays, it seems to be sort of suggestion, since they've reconstructed it all after the lockdown and caused all these setups to become a lot more heavier, much more nastier. It seems to be much more brainless. It seems to be much smaller minded. Less sort of, was never like a caring force as such, but how do I put it? Like a scum, like it's being set up by scum in the streets, you know, by small-minded bastards without looking at all the problems or verifying the facts first, just going absolutely erratic with it, basically. I mean, before the lockdown, it wasn't like this. It was bad, obviously. There's never been good days, and they have also told me that I paid the price for all these claims of sexuality or rapes that I haven't done. But even so, I was not happy about that, because, you know, I've never even done that. But they're claiming that I paid the price for something I haven't done. But they also made the suggestion that I paid the price for writing Bomb Hinkley Point Power Station graffiti on the path as well, with the setups in the last 6 months before we went into the first lockdown. And in the last 6 months, it was very rare I was getting problems. There were setups, obviously, and there was threats, dangerous situations, but nothing like it is since we've gone into this new way of life after the final lockdown. So these sorts of structural setups, or these force against me, it started to go down. I was telling us, apart from November or December, there's some time period, there's one specific day where I'd just walked into a load of unhappy people and had a whole load of threats. Take that one day away, I was walking into sexy people, people younger than me, people smiling at me, people posing as if they're single and they like you. I was surprised, and I thought, the time's come where they've laid off the setups, and the setups are not so bad. I even mentioned it to the doctor. You know, the doctor knows, before I moved to Yeovil. Obviously he's retired now, but even he knows that the setups were dropping completely and almost ended, and the fact that my life seemed to be improving. It wasn't improving as such at the time, but you know, things that was changing. I was walking into sexier people, and you could see that you would almost get into a point where single women, even 15 years younger than you, will try and chat you up. And also in the lockdown, although this Gemma doesn't like me, I was walking into this Gemma Ferguson as well, They're sort of saying that the time's come where you're entitled to something as well. And they had the knowledge of me being sexually abused as a child, you could tell that. But they weren't doing this to be nice. They give me this, put this action against me for many, many years. But it seemed to, in that time period, they seemed to sort of lay off and seem to be. But it's like there's two forces against each other. So it was still bad, it's still happening. It's never been good. But you could see at the same time, they were trying to provoke some goodness for me, but it never took place, or it never came true. Because what happened was, as soon as all this started to lay off, all this problem, and my life started to improve just a little bit, we went into the lockdown. And as we were going into the first lockdown, I noticed that the construction of force against me sort of dropped. It just suddenly dropped. But during the same of the first lockdown, you could, about a couple of weeks in or whatever, you could see that it's starting to be refixed and controlled, and it started to get nastier and nastier again. Then we went into another lockdown as the setups sort of here and there, but there were bad days mostly. And then once we got into the final, just a little bit before we came back to coming out of all the lockdowns into reality again, all this structural force got nastier, and I started walking into people that looked like my ex-mugger or his mates. And that's the case all the time, because I'm always walking into the bearded people. I mean, 140 threats a day going back to 2022. 140 people photographing me a day. Anywhere between 40 to nearly 200 people coughing and sneezing in my face per day of that specific year, 2022. But you know, whether that means anything, I do not know. But I have noticed that the people that are setting this new setup against me is not the same people. It could be the same organisation, but it's by a different set of people, different than when the setups were occurring between when I was born in 1981 to 2020 area. After 2020, you could tell that there's a different people with a different mindset that have set this up. It's much more nastier, much more aggressive. Telling you done things without verifying the facts and getting aggressive and nasty to kill you with it. That's how it is now. Back then, they knew that things weren't true, and they're trying to do it in a different way. It's always bad, it's never good, but... And also the loud bike tying to an erection, which they got in trouble for 10 Downing Street, the politicians, because I was leaving messages and texts going back to 2016 area. And then when the police came to mine, before they told me the problem, I was getting an erection as a loud bike occurred, and I wasn't very happy about it, and they could see that, and that's what they wanted to tell me about. And then they left it at that, and then obviously that's when all the trouble kicked off, but like I said, it didn't really go much down. It didn't really go down at all much, but it was slightly down, but it was still bad. There were certain times of the year they never really wanted to stop that loud bike to erection. But it didn't start off with a loud bike tied to an erection. It initially started with what looked like to a family member tied to an erection, if we go back before 2008. And then obviously the bike issue was sort of around that sort of time period it began. And then obviously it progressed on and on to worse and worse. So when I moved, with the loud bike increased to under 40 loud bikes per year that weren't tied to an erection. And then 2 specific years got every single bike on the road, even in the early hours going toilet, to every single erection those 2 years. And that's what really pissed me off, and that's what got 10 Downing Street texts and why I got in trouble and why the police had to deal with them. Even after that, loud bikes to most erections, at least 99% of erections, until near enough when we went into the lockdowns, where that sort of reduced a little bit, but it was still timed. That's one thing that's been timed right through, regardless of the new setups and the old setups. That's always timed. But since we come out, since I moved to Yeovil, the first year, everything was down, apart from the threats and the photographs taken of me and the setups. It's only when we came into 2023 that it all stepped up. Not for threats, the threats were stepped up in 22. It's hard to say. I don't know, loud bike was bad, but between May the 7th for 6 weeks, there was, apart from 4 days where there was about 400, there was over 1,000 loud bikes tied to an erection each and every single day in that 6 weeks. That's the best way to put it. And then obviously I'm trying to start that again. Right, this could be the official first knife-shaped site, right? Black and blue glaze, right, etc. Right, so 400 cars time in a corrupt fucking pattern by government. Shot down said. I've lost the the government set this action up too heavy. Shot down 6 said. That 400 cars is just in the mad. It's probably one of the most, it's a record breaking setup day for this year. Might not be the most negative suggestion, but for the actual control and the amount, yeah. I sneezed at. Nothing I can do about it. We're back home, 7 loud bikes to erections.